You gain the ability to stop time. After stopping time, what's the first thing you're gonna do? Story 1. I would become a anarchy god. Here's how. Step 1. I would learn everything. Assuming the internet doesn't work because the electricity is frozen in time, I would read and memorize every book. I would also document the nature and laws of time being frozen. Let's assume that everything inanimate that I directly touch becomes unfrozen, like clothes, doors, air, etc., not people. Step 2. I would do this by auditioning for America's Got Talent. I would use my various skills to work my way up the chain until the final round. While waiting between auditions, I would cause minor havoc like unexplainable things disappearing. In the final round, I pretend I'm going to be performing singing. I sing horribly, and midway through, I stop abruptly and cut the music. This is an act, and I am the judge. Lights cut out and all doors lock. Security is placed elsewhere. All cameras are forced on me with a spotlight. So, tell me, Earth, can you win the golden buzzer? I make a golden star button appear in my hand. Or will you become another victim? You have 1 year. I freeze time and watch as everything unfolds on TV. Everyone freaks out. Some say it's the end of times, others say it's a hoax. Regardless, I'm not a top story yet. So I wait until the Prime Minister gives a speech. I appear in the background behind the important figure for long enough to be noticed, but I disappear before security catches me. I leave behind a golden star sticker where I was standing. Step 3. I wait 6 months. Every time there are doubts, I break the left arm of someone and put a gold star sticker on it. The left arm is meant to throw people off. As time goes forward through the 6-month mark, the arm breakings become less and less frequent and people slowly calm down. But on the 6-month mark, I kill another higher power and leave a gold star sticker on their head. Step 4. I wait until the day before the 1-year mark. Other than the occasional left arm break, I stop all activity. The day before the 1-year mark, I watch as people become scared. Then, at exactly 4 p.m., I kill all of the world leaders. Prime ministers, the Pope, etc. Everyone wonders what worse I will do the next day. Step 5. The day of the 1-year mark. Countries are in a defensive position and the media is in hysterics. Civilians are unable to remain calm. 4 p.m. approaches and I hack every computer so that everyone is watching me as I stand on the White House's roof and speak, holding a golden star button. Well, hello again, Earth. It's been a year and I have finally made my decision about your planet. Pause for a good 10 seconds while smiling maniacally and hovering over the button. Suddenly, I press it. You've won a prize. Meet your new leader. I then disappear and the White House is covered in golden star stickers. I wait for another week and kill anyone who tries to enter a prime minister position. Step 6. 1 week later, I bring out the next major step of my plan. I collect the world's smartest people and force them to work for me. Of course, I give them astounding living conditions and make them feel more inclined to work. I have them create immortality. After I gain immortality, I kill the scientists. Step 7. Wait. I wait for everyone to mostly forget me, to the point where some are uncertain of my existence. Many years. I still make sure there's no global destruction or mass death, but overall I stay hidden. Step 8. The reveal. I claim to be a goddess wanting to help humans. After showing people all the good I can do, I make it so they worship me. I have everyone advance space travel and invent ways for me to obtain godlike power. I become a literal god that can create and destroy whatever, whenever. But what about when I get tired of living? What if I want to die? Eternal sleep. Story 2. Actually have some good sleep. Also, when time is stopped, if you interact with anything, it will break because it's happening infinitely fast. But that also means that the second I move, I will evaporate into nothingness. But let's say that I can only stop their time and not mine. I'm also invulnerable when time is stopped. In that case, if I push something without breaking it, I can send anything back in time to the start of the universe. Remember, infinitely fast means it's going infinitely faster than light. If this kind of stop isn't really a stop, it just gets faster times 1/c, which means I am actually moving at the speed of light, which would have the same stopping time effect, but it's much cooler. I could create a reactor which works on me throwing stuff into it at the speed of light. Every atom that I throw into it will be converted into its mass times the speed of light squared amount of light. This would solve the energy crisis, and I would become the richest person who ever lived, and take over the world. Anyone who tries to kill me will be evaporated immediately. Once I rule the world, I will build an army of soldiers carrying the guns of lightning. I will become a god. I will be worshipped as the savior of the universe. I will be everything. No one can stop me. I will rule the galaxy, the universe. Anyway, and then I could actually get some good sleep. Story 3. Gaining the ability to stop time is not as straightforward as it seems and requires several questions to be answered for what action to take next. Do you stop aging? This is the least important question in this list, but still important. Whether or not you age while time is paused greatly determines how long you would, or I would, use it. If you do age, every second you spend paused subtracts a second from how far in time you'll live in the real world. Using it every day for several minutes adds up quickly. How does kinetic energy work? If time is paused and then you move, your speed and acceleration are effectively infinite, and since force equals mass times acceleration, your force would equal infinite. With infinite force, moving even the slightest could theoretically destroy the universe. You might not even be able to move, though. Moving requires you to push air out of the way, so moving in the stopped reality requires you to move air even though it's frozen in time. How does gravity work? Gravity requires time to be applied, so taking a single step would theoretically make you start floating upwards into the sky. How does light work? Do you know the problem with being faster than light is that you can only live in darkness meme? Essentially that. Since light would be frozen too, you would have to walk forward in order for you to see. You would also leave a trail of darkness behind you since light can't move in to fill in that space. There are likely many more problems that I just can't think of right now. If we just say that it's magic and that I don't age, I would probably abuse the heck out of it for good and for my personal benefit. I would do things like join the military and obliterate our enemies, give myself all the time to think, de-stress, and rest, eliminate all time pressures from writing any future tests, etc. Story 4. As long as the following apply, time can be restarted and stopped at will and instantly. The length of time can also be stopped and has no limit, and I will not age when time is stopped even though time continues for me. An alternative to this is that I age at 1,000th the amount that I would when normal time flows. Things can be unstopped from time as long as I will it and have physical contact with that object and/or person or creature. I will not require food or drink when time is stopped, and I will also be able to breathe normally and see normally. The time stop feature works throughout the universe. With those in place, I will just save who I can, fix what I can, do the chores I need to do, and find justice for those who need it, good and bad. Oh, and make my dream house somewhere. Story 5. I'm a vet neurosurgeon. All I can think of is the freaking amazing surgery I could do if I didn't have to worry about bleeding or anesthesia problems. Like, I could pop a brain tumor out, make sure everything was neat and pretty, and close it up in an instant. Story 6. Start it back up just to make sure I can. Then I'll stop it again to make sure I can still do that. Then I'll panic thinking I stopped it too soon after restarting and restarting it again. Feeling relieved and a little silly, I stop it again. This goes on for several hours at least. Story 7. Ooh, one other use on a daily basis just after lunch. Stop time, walk into my boss's office, his door is often closed, profusely fart, leave office, close door again, start time again. Story 8. I would test the limits of the power. Can I bring other people into the frozen time? Can I move stuff around? Do I age? Can I make machines work? Then I would probably do a bunch of illegal stuff like stealing my food and money, getting into people's homes to see how their life compared to mine. I would probably save people if I feel like it, or cause chaos for the same reason. Then I'll wake up in my SCP containment chamber and remember the good old days. Well, the old days, really. Or not. There's not a lot to remember when you spent your entire life in a 5x5 temporal cell. Story 9. Oh, so much testing. Obviously the cliche hand wave in front of your face test. Can I unfreeze it? Does it take effort? Does the effort scale with duration, my perception? Is there any range, or does it affect the universe? Is the range spherical? Can I affect it based on effort? How does physics work in this time slip? Relativity? Can I interact with objects, or are they simply frozen in space-time? Can I impart new velocity/acceleration to something, or simply change its position? Can I selectively freeze objects? So many things that need to be tested. Yeah, from what I've seen in this thread, we are using JoJo and porn logic here. Story 10. Probably stop time in the middle of arguments so that I don't state bullshit / are capable of delivering proper responses to the argument or conversation. Probably stop time just as I come inside the coffee or restaurant and grab the nearest menu and spend the wanted 15 minutes there reading it. Imagine how neat it would be to just step inside and instantly ask for an order like you're an old settled regular who knows the menu inside and out. Probably save the dumb cat from getting demolished by a car or by a dumbass. The list goes on and on. Story 11. Contemplate the morality of this issue, because if I have this ability to stop time without any consequences, then that would make me the most useful person in the world. I can save people who are about to die, take as much time as I need to find the cure for cancer, clean the oceans, and so much more. But if I do that, then I'll have to do this for every second of my life for as long as I live. For me, I'd live millions of years, but of constant service to humanity. And let's be honest, I don't think I have the capacity to do that. I'd probably be very lonely and start to consider suicide as the rest of the world experiences like 60 years of perfection. Story 12. So I keep the world in stasis until I have a rockin' body, so I'd say about 6 to 12 months. During that time, I would also steal small bits of money every chance I get. I can't rob a bank because when time starts back up, well, they'll be able to trace the money back to me. Now, if I stole just $1 or so from everything I saw, there would be no way for them to trace it back to me. Then comes the issue of how I would suddenly get millions of dollars. Well, I imagine a year of solitude just stealing money and working on my rockin' body would get boring, so after I acquire enough money, I'll restart time, hang with a few people, and then go to a Bitcoin ATM. Deposit the cash into the ATM, put the money in a wallet, leave the location, stop time again. Then I would go back when it's far enough away, steal a key, and get the money I just deposited back out, but nothing more. Continue working on my body, taking small amounts of money, restarting time to launder it into Bitcoin, and then come back rich and hot as f***. Hey guys, you enjoying the video? If so, please like and subscribe as it really helps out the channel. Anyway, back to the stories, or I guess weird power fantasies. Story 13. I've always thought that the ability to pause time basically made you a remote for time. Pausing it, playing it, and rewinding, fast-forwarding it. In my new time remote life, if I make a mistake, I can always rewind time a few seconds and redo it. In a test, I cheat by pausing time. Maybe I have a package coming in, I could always fast forward time to the point where the package came in. Oh, and the first thing I would do in this about to pause time is see if in this time-stopped state I can walk on water. I go to a store, steal something, rob a bank, go to a shootout, go to a fast food place, see the kitchen, go to the back of the store area, and strip someone. No just strip someone and place their clothes folded near them. One moment they're walking to get milk, and the next they trip over a pile of folded clothes that they were just wearing. I'd with a bunch of people, including my classmates. I'm homeschooled-ish. My parents do teach me, but my school is the same, so it's considered a homeschool. I have 7 people in my class. We have a bunch of empty chairs, and I normally sit on the wall on the right side. So I'd pause time, grab my bag, place it near my new spot, and sit. I'd do this every 5 minutes. My classmates would notice it instantly, asking, "What the f?" Pretty much if nothing is going on, I'll swap spots with someone else. I'd erase the board, draw, or write something else. I'd love to use this for personal stuff, but I also know the potential for trolling people with this. Like going to a shootout and turning all the bullets to one side of the shootout. It'd be super fun. Story 14. Hope like hell I've got some other abilities to match it, such as immunity from time stoppage, otherwise I'll use it once and the universe, including me, freezes forever. The ability to restart time, at the very least, otherwise I'd suffocate immediately because the atmosphere is frozen in place. The ability to survive without oxygen while time stopped, and to survive without heat and food and all the other things that make life possible, which we take for granted when time actually works. The ability to impart instantaneous momentum to things around me, otherwise I'm held in place by the atmosphere, and to remove it, lest anything I move explode due to instantaneous movement. We'll ignore for now how the thunderclap that occurs when time restarts due to the hole in the atmosphere that I make as I move through it timelessly. And don't even think about going swimming. Also, what about friction? Some ways to perceive the world without lights, otherwise I can't see unless I move because all the light is frozen in place too. And without those first 3, time stoppage is going to be endless, incredibly dangerous, or fatal. Once we get to 5, we can start thinking about what we'd want to do if we were in all those time stop movies. Story 15. I would most likely figure out how to just use it to legally make a bunch of money. Get all my finances in order, buy a house, get my family situated, and give us all the life we've been working hard to get. Other than that, yeah, it'd be amazing to take a walk in a silent city where everyone has stopped. Play around with what you can do, save the occasional person or whatever. You definitely have to perv here and there. We'd all do that a few times. Go places you're not allowed to go, backstage at shows, hell, on stage at shows. There's so many amazing harmless things you could do. Story 16. I travel and check to see if I age while time has stopped. I would hope I could manipulate pockets of time in order to eat or get dressed and breathe. And if I didn't age, I would read and rest. Maybe if the ability was generous enough, playing some of the games in my Steam backlog. Download with typical time, play in a time bubble in offline mode, etc. Would not work for MMOs or other games with a primary multiplayer component. But then you'd have time for those in your regular life if you decided to do them after all your off-hours personal enrichment. I would exercise, I would explore, and I would learn. Take month-long vacations on Wednesday evenings. Work on my mental and emotional health and never be tired at work, because I just lived a lot in solitude and interacting with others will be a treat. I would hike the Triple Crown Trails, something I've wanted to do since I discovered it existed. I would multiply my waking hours by sleeping in pockets of stopped time at my leisure, savoring every hour of time as waking time, giving me more time to live life to its fullest in the normal flow of time. I would try to grow as much as a person as I could. You can't learn everything, not in an unlimited amount of lifetimes, but you sure can learn a lot. Story 17. Go out in public and scream Zawarudo Toki wo Tamare! Pause time, find a dummy, dress the dummy up like Jotaro Kujo, throw a bunch of knives at the dummy, and then resume time and watch as everyone starts freaking out. That, or use it to mess with some French dude by moving him down some stairs, or go punch the shit out of my great-grandson and some milk hunter. Seriously though, use it to confuse the shit out of people. Talk to a group of friends, say I have to go, and then head the opposite way, and as soon as they can't see me, I stop time, go in the opposite direction, resume time, and walk out. To them, it'll look like I just disappeared down a hall and then reappeared around the corner next to them. Story 18. There are a lot of problems with stopping time. First, you would be blind. If time had truly stopped and nothing is moving besides you, then light can't reach your eyes, and hence the blindness. Second, moving would literally kill you. There are 2 ways it would kill you. You would burn up and all your muscles and bones would break. The second you twitch, you cause the compression of air and therefore increase the temperature, causing a similar effect as when a rocket pod re-enters the atmosphere. And if you had managed to not burn up, the strain of moving at a speed faster than light would shatter all of your bones and your muscles would all snap. But if it was possible, I would stop time to do all my work at the absolute last minute to prove everyone wrong. Story 19. I frequently daydream about this, and I have some made-up rules. Electricity doesn't flow, so I can't use anything electronic, but I can manipulate physical objects, so I could, for example, ride a bike. I have some kind of aid that lets me resume my exact position from when the time was stopped. Many of the challenges I come up with are based on my gaining advantages based on my ability without drawing attention to myself. For example, I don't want to take or change anything so that something would just disappear on a surveillance recording. One of the best ways of making money without raising suspicions, I've thought, would be to play poker. I could check out the hands of other players and lose enough to make it seem legit while still winning big bucks. Story 20. I'll assume that I also have the ability to resume from a stopped time. I'll also throw in another assumption and say that all processes cease, including every metabolic process in my body, in a rather unexplainable and paradoxical way. Therefore, I'd be kind of immortal in my stopped time. Using the stop time to nitpick and explore the kinks in my newfound ability, might take a few long naps, steal some food from McDonald's, and these are the first things I would do. Next, I would use the ability to learn about countless things, generations of knowledge, all to myself whenever I desire. Rather hypothetically, though. The monetary gain would be like eating cotton candy at some fair. I'd try to control my new abilities and not get too dependent. Might cause some iffy shit to occur if I let this power get to my head. One thing is for sure, gonna use it to skip that iffy, musty World War III draft. Story 21. Figure out how far I can extend my abilities. Can I slow time? How does that affect physics? Less gravity? Can I make bubbles of slowed or paused time? Can I make bubbles of running time and stopped time? Can I move other objects or people? Can I unfreeze other people? Can I speed myself up running at 0 slowdowns while the world is at like a 50% slowdown? How quickly can I manipulate all of these things? Do I need to see something to freeze it? Can I create hard or soft borders of different time speeds? Can I reverse time? Does using the ability exhaust me? Is there a time limit? Story 22. I would read every book I've ever wanted to read. I would try to learn how to speed read. I would perfect my drawing abilities. I would try to learn other skills like painting, writing stories or books, fixing things around the house, my car, etc. Learning to build. I would exercise more, I would get enough rest, and I would try to figure out ways to earn money legally through my ability, etc. Story 23. Destroy the universe. Any movement I make will take place in space but not time. Force equals mass times acceleration. Acceleration equals delta D divided by delta T squared. Delta T equals 0. Therefore, F is infinite. Any movement I make will have the energy exceeding that of the Big Bang. Suck it, monkeys. As soon as I unstop time, you are all going to the big fry up in the sky. Story 24. Tough question. To be honest, I think it depends on the situation I would be presented with in order to stop time for the first time. If I'm stuck in traffic, stop time to get to my destination stress-free without the idiots on the road. I forget an assignment, stop time so I can finish it. Wanting to travel somewhere via car, stop time so I can get there without any hazards or admire views without worrying about how much time I'm wasting to get a photograph.